Hello YouTube, today I'm doing a Traptrix deck profile in response to one of our viewers, and because it's my deck I'm the one that's doing it, so it's Kevin today. And without that, we'll just start. So for the first card I run one Traptrix Mantis. This card is one of the newer cards that came out, and when it's normal summon you add a Traptrix monster from your deck to your hand, so it's a good searcher. It's unaffected by the rest of the whole trap card, same as every other Traptrix card, and once per turn you can choose one spell trap card you control and then switch it with another one you've got in your hand. This is really good because it's a quick effect. You can bait and switch your opponent if they decide to play like Twin Twisters on a certain card, and you can protect that card by giving another card to destroy. And then run to 3 Traptrix Trix. This is the main playmaker of the Traptrix. She has 1800 attack, 1000 defense, so decent beat stick. She also allows you to play your trap cards, your whole trap cards from your hand, which is really good. So it means that, you know, it's just because it turns all those traps into hand traps. She's also really good for protection, as she stops your trap cards from being negated as well. So she's really good. She's main playmaker, and I run 3 because of that. I run 2 Traptrix Nefertis. This card is a good defense card, and you can, if you activate your card while she's face up, 9 times out of 10 she'll be a face up once she gets attacked, survives in the field, and you can either add to your hand a Traptrix or special summon it from your deck as well. So you can either swarm or give yourself like some hand clearance. You've got your Traptrix Marmello, so I run 2 of those. This card is unaffected by the rest of the whole trap card, same as others. When this card is normal summoned, you can add a whole trap card from your deck hand, so it's a searcher. I thought running 3 would be the best, but I run 2 just because I find it quite bricky. And if this card is special summoned, you can target a spell trap card and destroy, so either normal or special summoned works really well for this card. So personally I run 3, but I feel like 2 is enough for this deck just because it's not main Traptrix. For the next card I use, run 2 copies of Traptrix Dianea. This card is unaffected by whole trap card, same as the rest. When this card is normal summoned, the target Traptrix monster in your graveyard special summon, so that works well with Marmello as a combo. So you can have Marmello in the graveyard, then special summon her used by normal summoning Dianea, which pops pops the spell trap card on your opponent's side of the field. She also targets when this card is special summoned itself, you can target a whole normal trap card in your graveyard and set it, but banish if it's until the end of turn if you don't use it. And then run 2. So that's all the Traptrix cards there. And for the next lot of monsters, I use 2 Denko Sekka. So with this Traptrix deck, it's primarily focused on shutting down your opponents.
No, I'm not laughing at you, I'm laughing at Tink.
Jesus. And with Denko Sekka is self-explanatory. Neither player can activate spell trap cards that are set in the field. However, you having Traptrix in the field, you can bypass that restriction on yourself, which means you'll still be able to activate your trap cards from your hand because it's not on the field. But I find if I run 3, she tends to break because obviously the effects don't stack or anything like that, so 2 should be enough. And then run 1 Fog King. So when you tribute a monster or no monster special summons card, this target becomes a combined tribute to original attack. So this the first effect's okay, but I use it for the second effect. Cards cannot be tributed, so again this deck doesn't rely too much on tributing, so you can just shut down your opponent from tributing cards as well. So not only are you stopping them from using your spells and traps for Denko Sekka, you can stop them from tributing to try and stick over your Denko Sekka as well, so it's good protection. I've only run 1 though. Cursed Fig, so this is more of a bait card. So with this card, just show a battle sent to graveyard. Targets 2 spell trap cards in the field and it can't be activated, so it's more annoying to your opponent because if they're destroyed they can recycle, whereas if they're on the field and they can't activate it, and it means it just clogs up their field, and it means that they're limited down to 3 for your back row. I run Pitch Black Werewolf, so that stops you from getting affected by your own traps, again as another restriction, so it means that you can attack without having to worry. I run 1 medium the Ice Barrier, so your opponent is another restriction card. With the first effect, you can special summon it on the field if your opponent has 4 or more cards, which is most likely because you'll be countering a lot. And your opponent can only activate one spell trap card each turn. So on top of the already restrictions, you can restrict them further with the Ice Barrier. Cactus Bouncer cannot be special summoned. However, when another plant monster in the field, neither player can special summon monsters. Again, this deck doesn't rely too much on special summon. But because the Traptrix are all plant based, Cactus Bouncer works really well and has really good synergy. However, you can brick because you might want to special summon yourself, so I only run the 1. I've got Vision Hero Witch Reader, so if for this card I tribute summon by tribute traps as well. So again, with a trap heavy deck, you have plenty of order to get in the field. And basically when you just normal summon, it's just like a Harpy's Feather Duster to your opponent, so there's enough said. Next card is Vanity's Fiend, so neither player can search some monsters, again similar to Cactus Bouncer. However, it's not restricted to the plants, so he's more reliable. However, you do need a tribute, so I only run the 1. Apprentice Piper, I run 1 in this deck, just helps swarm the deck, especially for your Traptrix, and it triggers like Diana's effect or special summon or Marmelo's effect, and it works really well because the Traptrix can protect each other. Magic's Fiend, monster effects cannot be activated. This card is really good, especially in the Zodiac era, where it was a really good counter to Trident, and it stops from just activating any skills. So again, it's really good. It doesn't stop inherent skills though, so any other skills you have that are already active in the field won't negate it, but it stops activation. Maxi for draw power, Neo-Spacian Grand Mole, so if you've got a problem monster that's giving your trouble monster a difficult time, because this deck doesn't have a lot of high level monsters, Grand Mole's there to kind of like push them back so you can set up your field to stop them from being in the field in the first place. And the last card is Goer Turtle for protection, which is because any monster over 1900 or more can't attack, and this deck isn't an attack heavy deck, so it's really good for like restricting and just like chipping away at your own monsters. For the traps, I'll go through the trap hole cards first. So I run 2 trap hole. I find 3 was too bricky, so 1 trap hole is enough to like destroy monsters. However, because it doesn't stop special summons, I only run 2. If it stops special summons, 3 would be a must. Adhesion 1 adhesion trap hole, so that's really good in this deck because a lot of monsters you control are relatively low attack and defense, so that will make things easier, and it means that they survive another turn. Traptrix Trap Hole Nightmare, I run 1 of these cards because with this card it negates the effect of a special summon monster that was summoned that turn and destroy it. However, if your opponent sees you play this card, you won't be able to counter because they're using their effect that turn. However, it's good as a response card, as it obviously with being a trap. Bottom's Trap Hole, again, I'd run 3 if I could, but because at 1 I'd only run 1, banish a special summon monster. Break Off Trap Hole, this is more for link area, so link monster, link summon, destroy monsters in the field that are not linked, so if you trigger that to say Bottom's Trap Hole, you can completely clear their monsters on their field, so it's really handy, and it only affects their field, so it doesn't affect but because it's a trap hole, it doesn't affect your own monsters, so it works really well. Deep Dark Trap Hole, level 5 or higher effect monsters special summon, banish level 5 higher, so again really good for your high level plays. Again, this deck needs a lot of protection, so it's all about protecting your monsters and negating their effects. Run 2 Void Trap Holes, so when they special summon a monster with 2000 more attack, negates the effects of monsters, so basically any monster that has an effect, you just negate it and destroy it, so it's really good. However, I run, because it has to have 2000 more attack, I only run 2. Fiendish Chain, it's really good for protection. Anti-Spell Fragrance works well with Denko Seka. Jing Shenhu Replica is a trap version of Cursed Fig, so again, just stopping them from using their back row. And because it's, you could say to use Jing Shenhu, however, Replica can't let them use the card in response, so if it was Jing Shenhu, they could activate the cards in response, and it means that it wouldn't work. However, the replica, although there's only one, it stops them from using it, and you don't need to worry about your back row because you can with Traptrix on the field. You can just activate from your hand. Play 1 Grand Horn of Heaven, so again negating and shutting down your opponent, and protecting your own monsters at the same time. Jar of Avarice, with all these cards that all these traps you'll be using, you'll need to recycle them, so Jar of Avarice is perfect for that. Safe Zone, so for cards like Traptrix, which can be destroyed quite easily, Safe Zones, they're kind of like backup for that. Anti-spell friggers again, and a Mirror Force just for protection. I only run one spell, and that's Parallel Twister. Send one of the spell trap card you control the graveyard, target card, and you'll destroy it. I find this works really well because there's so many traps in your side of the field. If opponents are targeting your card, you can activate this. If your opponents lock down your own cards, or you lock down your own cards, you can use this, and it means that the traps are never dead. It also clears up space, so it's really, really handy. And finally, for the extra deck, I run 2 Rafflesia. So with this card's effect is at 2500 defense, so it's really, really good defense and unaffected by any trap effects when it has Exceed Retail. That includes things like Storm Strike, for example, can't affect it because it's unaffected by all trap cards. And once per turn, you can detach material and send a trap from send a trap hole type card to your deck, from your deck to the graveyard. For the entire turn, you can activate that card's effect. Now, I playtested this a few times, and what it does, it means that, for example, you try to send Bottomless Trap Hole and they special summon a monster multiple times, more special summon more monsters. The effect which would continuously go for the rest of the turn because Traptrix effect counts for the entire turn. And again, I would run 3 if I had 3, but I only have 2, so I'd run 2 as 2. I've run 1 Kane Gordon Anti-Luminescent Light because he's good for protection. Again, when your opponent activates a card, targets a monster, you can switch the target to another appropriate monster, giving you more protection, but also means that it'll waste that card as well, so it's really, really good. Plus, it's got a decent attack for rank 4. And finally, I run 1 Steel Swarm Roach, so again, if we're going to summon a level 5 or higher, you just attach and destroy, so that's all it's used for. And it's 2 level 4s, which suits the deck fine because a lot of Traptrix are level 4s. So that's my take on a Traptrix lockdown deck. If you have any other cards you would think that would work in this deck, just put in the comments and I'll play test it if I can get hold of the cards. But yeah, that's the deck for you, and I'll see you in the next video.
It hurts.